Cynthia Martina Bah-Traore was born on July 4, 1981, to Tambra Alvoyd and grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. A devoted mother of 2 sons, Cynthia's life centered around her family and her work as a substitute teacher in Crowley, Texas. She was described as warm, nurturing, and deeply loved by those who knew her. By early 2021, Cynthia had separated and filed for divorce from her husband, Mussolini. She lived with her older son in Crowley, while her youngest son resided with his father in Fort Worth, just 20 minutes away. Unfortunately, in 2016, Cynthia suffered a traumatic event and began suffering from mental health issues. On Friday, February 5, 2021, Cynthia's older son alerted the family that he hadn't seen his mother in 2 days, and they reported her missing the following day. They first called Mussolini, who strangely said that Cynthia was in the hospital, but after numerous calls, a sympathetic nurse finally revealed she was not there and never had been. Once investigators were involved, they discovered surveillance footage of Cynthia at a Shell gas station in Grandview, Texas. The footage was from February 3, 2021 at 10:35 p.m. While in the store, she was seen walking around, appearing somewhat disoriented. Not long after, she left in her metallic blue Mazda CX-5, never to be seen again. Strangely, she left her cell phone behind at the store, making some believe she disappeared on purpose and didn't want to be tracked. On February 16, 2021, a state trooper discovered Cynthia's car abandoned on Interstate 35 near mile marker 355 in Waco, Texas, roughly 80 miles from Crowley. The car's battery was dead, the keys were left inside, and it had been sitting there for several days. Her family wasn't notified about the discovery of the car until February 25th. Unfortunately, this would have been during a historic Texas snowstorm that occurred between February 13th and 17th. The storm produced winds as high as 75 miles per hour and 6 tornadoes and dropped up to 26 inches of snow. One theory is that she was having a mental episode and her car died while out in the storm. She might have succumbed to the elements if she got out and began walking. However, despite extensive searches of the rural area using drones and police dogs, no trace of her was found. Investigators also theorized that she left and started a new life. The problem with these theories is that her soon-to-be ex-husband lied about her being in the hospital. What reason would he have to do that other than allegedly being involved in her disappearance? Cynthia's family has since formed the Find Cynthia Coalition, a group of attorneys and social justice advocates committing to uncovering the truth. Despite these relentless efforts, the case remains stagnant. In 2024, the FBI joined the investigation, but there still haven't been any significant developments, or at least they haven't been released to the public. At the time of her disappearance, Cynthia was 39 years old, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, with brown eyes and black hair. She was last seen wearing a blue long-sleeve shirt, black pants, gray and white shoes, and carrying a red purse. She had no visible tattoos or scars, but did have a distinctive deformed right thumb. She disappeared on February 3, 2021, and as of December 2024, she has not been found, and this case remains unsolved. Jarvis Malik McIntire was born on June 10, 1998, and grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. A graduate of University City High School, Jarvis was known for his kindness, his ever-present smile, and his ability to brighten any room. At 25 years old, he was a U.S. Navy veteran, described by those who knew him as vibrant, family-oriented, and unapologetically unique. Often going by the alias Cisco Mills, he loved standing out and being different. In June 2024, Jarvis flew to San Antonio, Texas, to visit his half-sisters, Brittany Carmack and Rachel Prude, to celebrate his upcoming 26th birthday. He planned to return to St. Louis on Monday, June 10th, but a devastating series of events unfolded, cutting his life tragically short. On the morning of Sunday, June 9th, Jarvis checked out of his Airbnb near Brettonwood Drive and had brunch with Brittany. During the meal, they allegedly had a disagreement, but the exact details remain unclear. He would then strangely go missing. Later that day, he was last seen near Holbrook Road, between Rittiman Road and Corrine Drive, on the northeast side of San Antonio. he failed to respond to birthday texts or calls, a behavior highly uncharacteristic for Jarvis, who was active on social media daily. When he didn't arrive back in St. Louis as scheduled, his family became increasingly alarmed. Within days, several relatives traveled to San Antonio to distribute missing person posters and seek answers about his disappearance. On Friday, June 14, 2024, the family's worst fears were confirmed. Jarvis's body was found face down in a creek at John James Park. His mother, Monica Tippett, was sadly tasked with identifying his remains. The park is located about 1.5 miles from the Airbnb he was renting. Near the scene, Jarvis's rental car, borrowed through Turo, was discovered on Sabayan Drive, just a block away. As for his belongings, including his luggage, laptop, and personal effects, they were still inside the Airbnb. The proximity of his last cell phone ping to the park raised further questions about what happened in his final moments. As the investigation progressed, a chilling detail emerged. Jarvis had placed a 911 call shortly before his disappearance, saying that he was being chased by an individual with a rifle. Also on the call, he used the word racist to describe the individual he was running from. Initially, his family was unaware of the 911 call until it surfaced later in the investigation. Unfortunately, the autopsy produced no cause of death, and investigators have said no foul play was involved. If that's true, what really happened to him? The family's suspicions soon turned toward Brittany. After Jarvis's disappearance, Brittany ceased all communication with his mother's side of the family and even blocked their attempts to reach her. Investigators were also hoping to question her, but allegedly she went into hiding. There was a rumor that she was arrested and charged in connection with his death, but I was unable to find anything official. I've also been unable to find a recording of the 911 call. Regardless, his family, including Brittany, believes he was targeted because he is bisexual, but that hasn't been confirmed. While questions remain about what truly happened on that fateful day, his family is determined to uncover the truth and ensure Jarvis's memory is honored. Jarvis went missing on June 8, 2024, and was found dead on June 14th, and as of December 2024, this case remains unsolved. Joshua Frederick George Hawkins was born to his mother Kim on August 20, 1988, in Brockville, Ontario. He was a father of a son who he adored and was known to be a very kind, generous, and energetic person, but he also suffered from depression. On January 27, 2018, 29-year-old Josh was admitted to Brockville General Hospital after his mental health had taken a turn. However, his stay would be very short because he took off on foot the following day around 6 p.m., wearing only his boxers and a hospital gown. Minutes later, police spotted him running southbound on Hill Street. He then allegedly broke into a home on Ormond Street and stole a sweater, a teal polo shirt, and slippers. The homeowners called 911 and confronted him. A struggle ensued, but Josh escaped and was then seen running northbound on Bethune Street. He was then spotted running down Pearl Street before turning onto Hamilton Street near some train tracks. Then there were reports of him being seen at Central Avenue West in Brock Trail area. He had his cell phone but eventually lost his slippers. Later on, someone called 911 and said they spotted him getting into a dark-colored pickup truck at a McDonald's on Parkdale Avenue. If that was really him, it might be his last known sighting. Speculation soon began to swirl about what might have happened to him. One theory is that, due to his depression, he might have found a remote area and taken his own life. If this is true, it would be very difficult to find him due to the barren and rough terrain in the area. There's also rumors of foul play. Josh stood 6 feet tall with brown hair and eyes. He has at least 8 tattoos and a large scar on his leg and was wearing a Tommy Hilfiger yellow sweater when last seen. He went missing on January 28, 2018, and as of December 2024, he remains missing, and this case is unsolved. Lisa Lynn Stone, born on September 3, 1958, was known for her sweet, bubbly, and caring nature. A 1977 graduate of Mesquite High School, she worked at Texas Instruments and later in the advertising department of the Dallas Morning News from 1991 through 2005. Her life was marked by personal losses, including the tragic deaths of her two siblings and both parents to cancer. At that point, she received almost $300,000 in inheritance. However, those losses, compounded by the end of her 14-year career selling classified ads, left Lisa deeply depressed and struggling. By age 51, Lisa lived in Dallas, Texas, on Truxillo Drive with her partner, Sherry Henry, who was 15 years younger. Unfortunately, she and Sherry had blown through most of the inheritance, blaming each other for most of the spending. Lisa would then strangely go missing. On June 4, 2010, Lisa spoke with her neighbor, Juanita Burris, who asked Lisa for help with her trash the following day, and she agreed. Sadly, that was the last time Juanita ever saw Lisa. The following day, she got a call from Sherry, who she wasn't particularly close with. Sherry told her that Lisa had to have emergency gallbladder surgery and wouldn't be able to help her with the trash. While Juanita was concerned about Lisa, she didn't think much else about it. Friends of Lisa began to notice after June 4th that all Lisa's social media activity had stopped, so they called Sherry to check on her. While Sherry had told Juanita the story about emergency surgery, she told Lisa's friends that she left town. Frustrated with the inconsistencies in the story, they went to Lisa's home to speak with her. Once there, Sherry invited them in and said Lisa would be home soon and said she planned to order pizza for dinner. However, they waited for an hour and a half, but Lisa never showed up. On June 20th, Juanita, knowing something wasn't right, called and reported her missing. Police initially visited the home, but Sherry assured them that Lisa frequently dropped out of sight and that nothing was wrong. Given Lisa's history of mental health struggles, the police believed she may have left voluntarily or harmed herself and closed the investigation 5 days later due to a lack of evidence. Lisa's friends, however, refused to give up. They repeatedly called her home and urged the police to perform a welfare check. On June 29th, they convinced authorities to visit the residence again. Inside, investigators discovered Lisa's 2 dogs and 26 cats living in filthy, flea-infested conditions. This time, Sherry claimed that Lisa had gone to a funeral. Animal control seized the animals, and Lisa's friends noted that such neglect was entirely out of character for her, and she had always been a devoted rescuer and caretaker of animals. On the morning of July 2nd, 2 of Lisa's friends allegedly witnessed Sherry driving Lisa's Cadillac to a nearby dumpster and disposing of several trash bags. Curious, they checked the dumpster and recovered family photos, heirlooms, birth certificates, and jewelry belonging to Lisa. At some point, Sherry turned up with Lisa's purse and gave it to Lisa's brother, who passed it along to detectives. Suspicion grew due to inconsistencies in Sherry's statements and her behavior following Lisa's disappearance. Despite these concerns, no charges have ever been filed, and Sherry continues to deny any involvement in her use. Sherry remarked that she had watched enough crime shows to know what evidence investigators might seek, and stated that if they had found anything incriminating, she would already be in custody. Encouraged by Lisa's friends, authorities eventually reopened the case and obtained a warrant to search the home. However, the results of the search have not been released. Sherry has since moved out of Lisa's home, and her current whereabouts are unknown. While investigators noted her lack of cooperation, they have not named her as a suspect. Lisa's financial struggles at the time of her disappearance were acknowledged, but her friends and family do not believe she would have walked away from her life. Lisa went missing on June 4, 2010, and as of December 2024, she has never been found, and this case remains unsolved. Nadia Atwi was born on October 1, 1985, and by the age of 32, she had built a life as a loving mother and dedicated kindergarten teacher in Edmonton, Alberta. Nadia shared a home with her husband, Ali Nish, and their 2-year-old son. However, beneath the surface of their family life, challenges and tensions were brewing. Nadia was born and raised in Canada, deeply connected to her Lebanese heritage. She was known for her kindness, responsibility, and ever-present smile. Her strong bond with her parents, Sawa and Akram, was a cornerstone of her life. Since they lived nearby, Salwa and Nadia often carpooled to the local private Arabic school where they both taught. Unfortunately, Nadia's marriage to Ali had become very strained, and they filed for divorce but continued living together while waiting for it to be finalized. Some speculated that Ali had only married Nadia to secure a Canadian green card, though this remains unconfirmed. On December 7, 2017, Nadia strangely went missing. She was allegedly last seen around 6:30 that morning by Ali. Salwa made several attempts to contact her daughter before finally going by her home to see if there was something wrong. When she arrived, Ali answered the door and told her that Nadia had already left. Assuming she most likely went on ahead, she continued to the school, but when she arrived, Nadia wasn't there either. While this concerned Salwa, it wasn't until the police contacted her later that day that she realized her daughter had disappeared. They contacted her after discovering Nadia's black Chevrolet Equinox abandoned in a ditch at Rundle Park, about a 20-minute drive from her home. Her belongings, including her cell phone, were left inside the vehicle. When investigators checked her cell phone records, they found that she last used her cell phone at 3 a.m. when she sent a text to Ali from inside their home. However, when questioned, he denied having any additional information and stuck to his story that she left the house of her own accord. The day Nadia vanished, Edmonton was experiencing unseasonably mild weather for December, with temperatures reaching nearly 43 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and only dropping to 33 in the evening. It also hadn't snowed for a couple of weeks before her disappearance. While the lack of snow made it easier to search Rundle Park and the surrounding areas, there was still no trace of her found. Neighbors later told investigators that Nadia and Ali were constantly involved in heated arguments. They also described him as a very cold and rude individual. On December 17, 2017, a candlelight vigil was held at Churchill Square to honor Nadia and raise awareness of her disappearance. During the event, Ali became visibly upset when someone he claimed Nadia didn't get along with began speaking. In a dramatic outburst, he threw his candle to the ground, sparking a commotion. The situation escalated as people began accusing Ali of being involved in her disappearance. He was chased into the street and fled in a van as the crowd surrounded it, shouting accusations. Adding to the suspicions was Ali's questionable history. At least 6 years ago, he was reportedly active on dating sites and was known for sending explicit images. However, Ali had his own theory. He revealed that Nadia had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder a decade earlier and speculated that she had stopped taking her medication before going missing. He also suggested she may have taken her own life, a theory that investigators seemed to accept. However, Nadia's family strongly disputed this claim, believing her disappearance involved foul play. Not long after she went missing, Ali moved out of Canada, taking their young son with him. He reportedly stated that if Nadia were to return, he would finalize their divorce and attempt to prevent her from seeing their child. At the time of her disappearance, Nadia was 5 feet 8 inches tall, with brown eyes and long curly brown hair. She was last seen wearing dark clothing and may have been wearing a hijab. There were also reports she may have been missing one or both shoes when she disappeared, and during a search for her, a shoe was found, but they can't confirm it's hers. Her family continues to seek justice and answers, holding on to hope that someone, somewhere, may hold the key to unraveling the mystery of her disappearance. Nadia went missing on December 7, 2017, and as of December 2024, she has never been found, and this case remains unsolved.